Happy Wednesday, everyone. We got a fun little work set for you guys coming today. It's every 4-minute work set, so we got a little bit of time today. I'm looking forward to it. But before we get to that, let's talk about our warm-up. Our warm-up, pretty straightforward. We're going to get some hinging going on. We're going to work on our good morning for 5. We're going to start waking up our single leg good morning with rotation for 3 to 5 aside. Stack scale raise for 3 aside, and goblet squat for 3 at a 3-1-3 tempo. Just kind of bring it all together. So just waking things up for the lower half of the body, getting some hinge and rotation work. We got 2 rounds of work there. We're going to move into a little bit more kind of dynamic work set. A little bit of butt kick for 20 seconds, dumbbell standing march for 30 seconds, dumbbell / kettlebell swing 5 to 7, and a vertical power jump of 20 seconds for 2 rounds. So we're going to use that to get that body and that heart rate up a little bit. And again, you can interchange some of these things in terms of what we're going to be doing in the workout as well. So our workout today, every 4 minutes for 4 rounds, so 16 minutes of work. You will take down a 400-meter run. You will tackle 15 kettlebell swings or dumbbell swings, and then you'll take down 10 renegade rows per side. So you'll do 10 on one side, 10 on the other side, or if you like that alternating variation, 20 total count. Then you'll rest for whatever time you have remaining in the 4 minutes, and then it counts itself down to 4 minutes. Bam, beep, it goes again. We do it again. So we'll have some fun, tackle this work set, and we'll see where it takes us. All right, let's get ourselves moving around. Let's get those feet under the hips. Take the arms up big and tall. We're going to stretch it over to one side. We're going to come back up to the other side, reach it over. We'll come back through, scratch our back and reach, little side bend. Come back up, big stretch, scratch your back and reach, little side bend. We'll come back up overhead, and a forward fold, touching those toes. We're going to walk up those shins, come down, frame of foot. We'll step back into our lizard. Inside hand's going to lock that front foot in place. We're going to turn the torso. We'll come back to the center. We're going to lower the back knee, press the hip, come back through, straighten out the leg, turn, come back to center, lower, press the hip, back to center, straighten the leg, turn, back to center, lower, straighten the leg. All right, from here, planting that hand, we'll straighten that leg, we'll step back into our down dog. Reaching those hips up, we're going to walk our heels out, one at a time. Nice and slow. Just wake up those feet a bit. We'll come back into our plank, step the other foot up. Inside hand's going to lock that front foot in place. We'll turn. We'll come back through. We'll lower the knee, press the hip. Come back through, straighten the leg, turn. Come back through, lower, press the hip. One more time, straighten out that back leg, turn. Come back through, lower, and press the hip. Coming back through center, we'll plant the hand on the floor, we'll straighten the leg, step back into our down dog as we reach those hips. We'll walk those heels out again, nice and gentle. Nice and easy. Come back into our plank. Tiptoe those feet all the way up. We're going to roll ourselves up, big stretch. Take those arms over to one side, to the other side. Come back down with those hands. Whew. We'll get you guys ready to go. So again, if there's any extra movements you'd like to take on for yourself, please pause the video, take that down, take care of yourself, and get that body ready. We're going to walk through a little bit of hinging work, some hamstring love, and we'll get you guys fired up and ready to go. So we're going to kickstart off our work set today with a good morning. And the good morning can be taken from any stance, a sumo, hip width or squat stance, and a narrow stance inside, feet together. So I'm going to demonstrate from that squat stance or sumo stance, and we're going to get that nice position to the glutes and the ribs so we're nice and neutral. From here, I'm going to use my hand reference on my chest and my ribs so I know if I break, I can maintain that good position. I'm going to pull the hips back into that hinge, keeping that big toe down, coming back up nice and tall. So I'm trying to keep my weight through that midfoot, but I'm trying to keep that big toe down. So as I pull my hip back, I can still feel that anchor point with the big toe, but the majority of my weight is through those laces as I stand up nice and tall. Again, maintaining that straight, long body to make sure that it's almost like I've taped a PVC to my head, my back, and my hip. We all keep that all in one line as we shift into that hinge. affirm our good morning, we're gonna use that hinge again, but we're gonna bring our feet under our hips. We're gonna take one heel out in front, nice and straight. I like to bring my knuckles up in front. I'm going to pull my hip back, softening that balancing leg. As I find that hinge, I'm gonna rotate towards that lead leg and stand tall. So I pull back, rotate, stand tall. Now I'm gonna work on that good hinge, so I focus on the hinge, feeling that engagement through that upper hamstring, lower glute. Once I find my end range, rotate the low rib towards that lead knee. Now with that rotation, it's happening at the low rib. Do not worry if you cannot touch the knee or the thigh. Just take it to where you feel comfortable and you feel that little sensation through the upper back, and then come back out of it and stand tall. We're gonna do 3 to 5 per side of that, and then we're gonna move into the back scale raise. So the back scale raise, it's different than the RDL. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ourselves squared up through the hips. My back leg is gonna get ready. I'm gonna kind of give a little bit of engagement. I'm going to have a soft balancing knee, but I'm going to hinge at the hip, pressing that heel back as I hinge forward, coming down to about 90 at the most. Then I'm going to come back up. Now with this, again, I'm only coming to about 90 at the very most. But if I can only get to about here, just a little hinge, and that's where I have trouble maintaining a square hip, then that's where I'll stop. So it doesn't matter where you get to. Just know we want to make sure we're keeping that body nice and straight, nice and active the entire time, and head to heel moving as one piece the entire time. So experiment with that, play with that. Remember, experiment, play with the range. I want you to think long, straight body over worrying about coming all the way parallel to the floor. That's your end range, but if you can't get there just yet, ease into it for your end range. Now our last movement, we're gonna bring it all together. You can do this goblet, or you can do this unloaded. So if you're not quite ready or prepared to do this with load just yet in the warm-up, you can do this air squat. Our feet are gonna come into our hip to shoulder width stance. I'm going to pull the dumbbell up under the chin. So I'm pressing into the dumbbell to give myself a little engagement through the ribs. I'm gonna draw the hips to the heels, keeping those knees slightly out so they track the toes, and then I'm gonna stand nice and smooth. Draw the hips to the heels, staying focused on that tall torso, and standing tall. So I'm really pushing into that dumbbell just a tad to keep that upper body engaged so I can feel that tall torso. Now as a quick recap, we have a good morning at 5 reps, any stance you like to play with, or change it up, play with every one of them. Single-legged morning with rotation for 3 to 5 a side, back scale raise for 3 a side, goblet squat for 3 at a 3-1-3 tempo, and then you hit that for 2 rounds just to get that body ready, get those legs and hamstrings fired up for what's to come. Pause the video, take that down. We're gonna get a little bit more dynamic very soon, and we're gonna walk you through some movements you're gonna see in the workout. All right, we're gonna kickstart off our next phase warm-up with our butt kick. So our butt kick is just a chance to kind of get that run technique and pose method style running technique kind of zeroed into the body. So I'm standing nice and tall. I'm gonna have my thumb and index finger kind of holding onto that imaginary tissue paper. So a light little hold here, so we're not having too much tension. And then I'm gonna work on pulling my foot up underneath of my glutes and hip, and then switching sides. So I'm pulling that foot straight up underneath, working on that good technique and that good form, so that as I lift that foot, my knee comes slightly forward, and I create this kind of figure 4 position. My body's upright right now, and I'm just gonna work on pulling that foot up. I can do it at a stepping or a marching pace, or I can do it at a little jogging pace. Again, working on pulling that foot up underneath of the glute and the hips, so I engage that hamstring and that glute. In the warm-ups, as you start kind of progressing through that, you can substitute that for a run if you are going to be running, or you can substitute that in for your cardio of choice that you're going to use in the workout. Right after the butt kick though, we're gonna start working on the quads and the hips a bit, and we're gonna work on that standing march. You can hold the dumbbell goblet, you can hold it kind of Zercher style, front rack, suitcase, whatever you'd like. We're we're gonna work on keeping that balancing leg super strong. We're gonna lift and switch. So the knee's gonna come straight up in front. So we're gonna work on the quad and the hip flexor. Unlike the butt kick, where we worked on the hamstring and glutes. So the knee is forward. With the march, the knee is up. So there's a different location of the foot and a different engagement of the body and the leg to get that leg moving. So play around with both of those pieces. You're gonna tackle both sides of the leg. You're gonna get that thing nice and warmed up before we move into our next movement, which is the kettlebell or dumbbell swing. So we have a few different variations of the dumbbell swing. If you're doing the kettlebell swing, you're gonna hold it one way, and that's by the handle. If you're doing the dumbbell swing, though, you can hold it by the bell with 2 hands. You can hold it by the handle with 2 hands like a golf club, or you can do a single arm swing like we did last week in that workout. So it's all up to you. If you're doing a single arm, just remember you'll do 5 to 7 per side, and in the workout, you'll split that 15 set up half and half. So regardless of how you hold the dumbbell, the swing itself is the same. So we want to make sure our feet are above a squat stance so we don't clip ourselves with the dumbbell on our knees. And we're going to work on pulling those hips back in that kind of jumping position or that hinge. And then we're going to stand tall, working on the legs, doing the work. So the legs and the hips do the work to get that dumbbell moving and up into that happy, safe, and controllable range for our shoulders. Now we want to make sure that it's the legs and the hips doing the work. We don't want to get the dumbbell here and all of a sudden, boom, with the arms. We want the legs to do the work, the arms just to guide it and control it to where we want it to be. So we're just kind of letting the arm be like a rope or a cable, and we're moving with this cable as we guide it up and down. Right after the kettlebell or dumbbell swing, we're going to move into some vertical power jumps for 20 seconds. And this is really just to get the heart rate up, get your body fired up for this movement, and it's going to be a little extra fatigued after the kettlebell swing because it's basically the same ramp or the same movement. So what we're going to do is we're going to get that nice swing power position, drive through the legs into that vertical power jump. Not looking for height, but we are looking at controlling the rebound. So 3 reps will look like so. Swing up, up. I'll rest a few seconds, and then I'll do 3 more reps. Rest a few seconds, 3 more reps. And I'm going to do that for 20 seconds. Again, I'm working on absorbing into the next jump, land, absorb, drive. So that's why I don't want you to worry about the height. I want you to more so worry about that rebound, getting used to absorbing and giving that energy back, because that's also going to help kind of build that power output we need for our kettlebell or dumbbell swing in our workout. So in our quick little recap, we have a butt kick of 20 seconds, dumbbell standing march of 30 seconds, dumbbell or kettlebell swing, 5 to 7 reps, vertical power jump, 20 seconds, keeping those rep ranges between 3 to 5 for the 20 seconds, just kind of repeating 3 to 5 reps until the 20 seconds is done, and then we're gonna hit that for 2 rounds, and then get you guys ready for a practice round of the work set before we tackle the workout. So hit that up, rock it, get yourself prepped, practice those skills. We're going to talk about what's to come to get you finalized for what's to come in the workout. All right, we've made it to the workout, you guys. We have an every 4 minute for 4 rounds. Dumbbell, kettlebell, we start off with the run or the run equivalent. So check out that workout description. There will be some options for that run. Make it yours, pick the one you want to work with. Then you're going to do 15 dumbbell or kettlebell swings, and then you're going to do the Renegade Row, 10 per side. We haven't covered the Renegade Row, so I'm going to show you a couple things right now that you can add into your practice round just to get you guys prepped and ready. So with the Renegade Row, we can do this one of 2 ways. We can alternate, total count of 20, or we can do 10 on one side, 10 on the other side. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up the same way. We're going to get ourselves set up in a plank with slightly wider feet. So about squat stance to a slight straddle. I'm still in my good plank position. I'm pushing the floor away. My ribs are in. I'm going to shift my weight to one side. Take hold of the dumbbell. Pull to the rib. Switch. So alternating. Total count of 20. Now, if you'd like to do all 10 on one side, you'll do the same thing, except you'll just rock 10 reps on the one side. So I'll get myself set up over top of the dumbbell. I'll shift my weight, take hold, pushing through this balancing arm, row for 1, for 2, for 3, and I'll hit that up for 10, shift my side, set my position, then I'll hit that row for 10 on the other side. Now, the key thing with that one is making sure we're stable and balanced through that arm the entire time so that we don't lose balance as we row. If you're not comfortable doing that Renegade Row with weight, you can get rid of the dumbbell and you can work on that similar focus just with an empty hand. So we still shift our weight, we pull our hand to the hip, keeping the elbow tight to the body, come down, shift, hip. So we're still doing the same movement, same target, which is that hip to low rib. We're just not adding any external loading in there, we're just supporting our own body weight. If you're choosing to do this, I'd like you all to pause for a brief second at the top of the pole, just to simulate a little bit more imbalanced position to build some strength and comfort in that stability so that we can eventually add some load there. So take your time with those. Those aren't meant to blast through. We want to make sure we're hitting those 10 really good. We're getting that good row so that after that you can just rest, take it down, and then continue on with the next round when the next 4-minute timer sets up. So as a recap, we have every 4 minutes, 4 rounds. So it's 16 minutes in total. You'll run, or you'll do the run equivalent for 400 meters, 15 swings, 10 Renegade rows per side, rest for the remaining time of the 4 minutes, and then you'll do it again. All right, so you'll have some rest time. You'll have some rest time, trust me on that one. But the big thing here, you guys, if you're looking at the run going, I'm a really, really labored runner, running's not my thing, but I like to do it, I'm a little slower, then you can give yourself some leeway and give yourself 200 to 400 and give yourself a time frame or a distance that's going to allow you to get the work done and still have some rest time in that 4-minute interval. So adjust the run, don't adjust the swings or the rows, but adjust the run distance if you need to make that time frame work. Have fun with this one, you guys. It's a good time. I love these interval work sets. It's always fun. When we're working on our rest, work on our rest. So really focus on breathing, letting the heart rate come down, and letting yourself get ready so you can hit that next interval hard and keep them the same-ish time frames each round. Work for quality. Have a ton of fun, you guys. Let me know how it goes. We'll see you tomorrow for a lot more fun. Work set. It's coming. This week is coming. Bye, you guys.